So actually, I have started a channel regarding the machine learning. So today I'm going to let you know my main agenda of this channel and the main agenda of my playlist. So actually, there is first and foremost question that comes to everyone's mind is that there are many channels regarding this machine learning concept and why should we trust you? Because uh, to gain a chance, if I am a student, I would always try to watch a video regarding any concept that I want to learn. I would always check the number of subscribers the channel has, number of likes the channel got, and the number of likes and views the corresponding video had. So these are the things that everyone will check if they want to access something on YouTube, some educational things on YouTube. So being a startup YouTube channel, so it's really hard to gain the trust and belief of the user. So I'm so to make you trust my channel and my idea, I would try to explain what I'm gonna teach and what is my playlist is all about. So okay, so firstly, I would try to give you an in-short explanation regarding the concept so that you can trust my channel for the first time. So okay, so first and foremost thing regarding an engineer, I mean machine learning engineer or machine learning scientist, the first and foremost important thing is to understand the data because data is everything. Like for humans, the environment, air, oxygen, food, and everything, water, etc., are the life resources to work or to live. The main life or main life resource for the machine learning algorithm is data. So the first and foremost thing is being a machine learning analyst working for some kind of organization, you should understand what is the data that you are operating. For example, like if you take the COVID cases, because COVID is in the situation is prevailing around currently. So if you take some bunch of data regarding the COVID patients and you were given the task to predict whether a user or a, whether I'm sorry whether a patient of a patient X will have these three kind of symptoms, is having COVID or is he gonna die? Some such kind of predictions are required in some kind of situation. So what you have to do is to take the millions and trillions of data because data is never in short form in real. So there will be millions of data. So to go through the millions of data, first you need to understand the business situation or the task that you are given, and you should understand the data properly because data is the heart of machine learning algorithm. So you should understand the data properly. So I would let you go through the way you could understand the data properly. So this is the first thing that I want to make sure that every viewer is clear regarding this. And second thing is data pre-processing. So as I know, as I watched many videos regarding the machine learning, the data pre-processing thing is neglected by many of the professionals or many of the YouTube channel people. I think that machine learning teaching is all about teaching the algorithms and the roots of the algorithm. It's not all about teaching the algorithms and making things familiarized regarding the algorithms. The machine learning is all about going through each step from the start to end. If you face a problem regarding, if you are working on the problem regarding this aspect, from the start to end, you need to understand every process, not just the algorithm. So data pre-processing is one of the important and most three more. So that's what I'm trying to say is data pre-processing is pretty important before you try to understand an algorithm, because once you've given a millions of trillions of data, you will never the data will never be in a clean format because data collected from different resources. So we call that data warehouse keeping, that is a data collected from different resources, and all the data may not be important. First thing, every data is not important because if you are trying to predict whether a person X is having COVID or not with symptoms, the name of the person is never an important aspect in the situation. That is called redundant data. Unnecessarily keeping the redundant data is not important, and sometimes we will face many times, or not sometimes we will face this issue many times because data may have missing values. So how to handle those missing values? And in the deep down, if you take an algorithm, in the deep down, it is completely math. It's completely math. So math always operates on numericals. So here, when you try to see that, when you try to see, we will have many categorical data in the categorical things in our data actually. So categorical things includes the gender. Sometimes gender is male and female are written in categorical things, but The algorithm will never understand those categorical things. So we try to convert into some types of numericals by some pre-processing techniques. So that is how data is pretty important. Data processing, pre-processing is pretty important. So that is what I'm going to concentrate much. It doesn't mean I'm not going to concentrate on algorithms, but data pre-processing is pretty important thing. And finally, understanding the machine learning algorithms is also one of the important thing. So these are the three outlining topics that we are going to cover in this playlist. But after listening all the things, you may have doubt that there are many other famous channels which teach you much differently than what I'm trying to teach. So everyone has their own way of teaching. So why should you watch my videos instead of watching their videos? So, and that's my question. Then my answer for that question is that here I'm going to break the complexity of learning things into pieces. So what I'm trying to do is, if you take an algorithm, it may have several steps. So what we are trying to do is break down things into pieces and finally combining the pieces and getting the end product. So that is the approach that I'm going to follow. So this makes you understand each thing clearly, and then testing the output of the thing, and then combining with another test same things which we have tested and understood, and finally getting the end product. That's the approach that I'm going to follow. And the next thing I'm trying to do is that if an algorithm has let's assume that if an algorithm has 100 points, I mean, if your algorithm lets you know some 100 points of data, in reality, you would only require, most of the cases, not in every case, in most of the cases, you would require only some 20 points of data to understand the algorithm. Because understanding the 80 it doesn't mean that 80 points are unnecessary. I'm only trying to say that those 20 lines are pretty important to solve the problem and understand the problem and get the required output in many of the cases. So we would confine ourselves to the those 20 points so that we would learn the concept we could crack many interviews, we solve many things with these concepts. If you want to refer much more, there are so many bunch of libraries in the Wikipedia and so many bases, the databases you can gain the complete knowledge. But what we truly need is those 20 lines. So this will concise the time from 2 hours to learn an algorithm to 20 minutes, and which will give you to more time to implement the algorithm. So that's my main agenda here. And next and foremost thing is, I'm gonna keep my videos to shortest length as possible, because if the video is for hours and hours, people would lose interest. So I'm trying to make the videos as short as possible, mostly approximately 10 minutes, so that it's easy and so sweet to grasp. So it will give you some kind of confidence that okay, 10 minutes to banta hai, so we can learn in just 10 minutes. That's pretty useful. So I try to make the things as short as possible. And next, the most important question for yourself and for myself also is that what are the concepts that I'm going to teach in this playlist, and how could I make them familiarize for my this thing. I'm going to teach the Python basics firstly, because why I choose Python is that Python is, for myself and for most of the users, the Python is truly friendly with the user, because Python has a bunch of modules which help the user to make things, solve things easier. Then arises the question, why not R language? Since R language is a language that is used to solve the machine learning, that is used in machine learning concepts. Why not R language? That's a first and foremost question, that if you know that R language is a language that you will that will arise in your mind. Because I am not choosing R language because if you are working as a machine learning scientist in a particular organization, people would never let you confine to a particular thing. If you have to move out of the box, or you have to do something else other than doing the machine learning stuff, then you would face trouble, because R is completely used to implement the machine learning things. So if you have to come out of the box, it will be tough. So if you learn Python, that would make your life a bit easier. So Python, so I choose Python, and here we are going to learn some many modules like Numpy and Pandas. So they are very important as a prerequisites for learning the machine learning. And next thing is data visualization using Matplotlib and seaborn. Actually, data visualization. So I'm not promising that out of 100 visualization techniques, I would teach all 100 visualization techniques. We would only concentrate on those techniques that are pretty important to solve the things. So we would always concentrate on the visualization techniques that are pretty useful, because unnecessary learning many visualization techniques is actually our main agenda is to learn the machine learning, not the visualization part. So unnecessary learning all the visualization techniques is not pretty much useful. So I would try to confine these visualization techniques to the standard that are required by a company. So that's what I'm trying to say. And next thing is data pre-processing. As I said in the earlier time, data pre-processing is an first and foremost important thing for solving a machine learning algorithm. Actually, I have referred this pre-processing word earlier. And analyzing. What is meant by analyzing? Analyzing is nothing but once you pre-process the data is in clean format. Then the next question arises: how a feature is nothing but a field or a column, is impacting the output. I mean, is how it is impacting the output. So that is pretty important thing. So that is what called analyzation, analyzing which all the features are important to the predict some corresponding output. Feature importance is one of the aspect that is called analyzing things. So that's we will cover in this process. And next, understanding the different algorithms. It is the main thing everyone concentrates and everyone wants. We will understand many algorithms, simple algorithms like linear one. So we will try to cover all the algorithms and understand the core concept. So understanding here, I want to mention one point. I would try to teach you from branch to root. If you assume that an algorithm is a tree, we may not learn every branch, as I said, from the how 100 points we would only pick 20 points. In the same way, we may not learn every branch for a tree, but we would pick a branch, and we would pick some branches. We would start. I would teach you from the branch to root. So in the top-down approach, so that your task, your end, you have to put efforts to learn from the bottom to top. So because if you travel in the same way two times, you would definitely understand pretty better than every other person who is learning the same things. So I would try to teach you from the top to bottom approach, and you should try to revisit the things from the root to branch. So that's what the main thing of this course. And finally, we are choosing this appropriate algorithm. The main important thing, after you have completed the data pre-processing, analyzing, and everything, the main thing is to how to apply the corresponding algorithm actually, because every algorithm has its own way of approach. So choosing an appropriate algorithm is pretty important. Many if we I have acknowledged many situations where the machine learning scientists fail to produce the corresponding good output because they don't understand how to apply those algorithms. They have learned the algorithms, they have learned the pre-processing techniques, they know how to code everything, but they don't know how to apply an algorithm, how to apply which algorithm in which situation. So that is pretty important. So learning algorithm itself is not important. Understanding where to apply and how to apply the algorithms is also important. That is what we would pick here. We are try to pick a problem. We try to do all the pre-processing steps on all the steps, and then finally we would we would learn how to choose an algorithm itself. That's what the thing we are going to cover. So these are the things that we are going to cover in this playlist. I believe I could make you understand the things in a clear and a better way. So thank you, and